Well, yes, we're taking another perspective on this report here, this particular report done by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics and the UNODC. And joining us to look at it is Mr. Katch who is a member of the People's Democratic Party. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you for having me.
Have you taken a look at the report?
I have.
What were you able to deduce from it?
Nothing new.
Nothing new?
Yes.
Why did you say so?
It confirmed exactly what we've been saying, that all we've had are just talk, that this is the most corrupt government in the history of Nigeria. The figures prove it. There are things that are still not in the figures, which I'm willing to explain as we discuss.
They're not in the figures, how do you mean?
Oh, the use of nepotism is not reported there. That, for me, is the most violent form of corruption. Nepotism divides society. It excludes large sections of society. It's not captured in the monetary report, yet it is the reason for damaging the country, so much so that you now have a countrywide demand for restructuring, which in essence means allow us to do these things in small bits. That's how it is. When you bundle everything into one hand, and nobody can supervise that one hand, because the hand calls itself a central committee, or you call it a cabal. And they have at their disposal the police, the army, the appointment of all the heads of security parastatals at their whim. Nobody answers to them, nobody talks to them. What do you expect? That's corruption. And the only way to make this work is what you're hearing from Nigerians from across the geographical divide of this country. Restructure this country. Let us go, and let's not put everything in one man's hand. Allow it to go to the federating units.
It is interesting that the reaction of politicians, will be that this report is about politics.
No, it's not about politics. This report is about the truth of who we are. Despite the rhetorics from government, no government has
the truth of who we are. What are you talking about? What do you mean by that?
The truth about this government being just far more corrupt than previous governments. Why? That's why we're saying, if you've done this for 50 years and it doesn't work, let us do it in a different way.
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost.
We are saying, if banding everything together into the hands of a unitary government, then having them commit to several figures by just one single agency, no. Unbundle it. When you unbundle it, let everybody take care of himself, so that we will see how these things are run. If you don't have one single office looking at the entire labor, transportation, and agricultural office of the country, unbundle it. Let the federating units do their agriculture. Let the federating units do their road transportation. But you're putting everything into one small office, in this case, the federal government, of course you have corruption.
This is very interesting. It is interesting in the sense that this report is not precisely about corruption in the federal government. It's about corruption in Nigeria, which also includes corruption in the states. And there's also a breakdown of corruption, region by region. That's corruption broken down in terms of how prevalent it is in the states as well.
Did you see the headings, which is the most corrupt places you see in the listing? Called the 1, 2, 3, and you see these are federal places, federal agencies. What we're saying is unbundle Nigeria.
Federal agencies, yes, the police is a federal agent. But
very good.
Can we say,
unbundle it.
Just a moment, can we say that the judiciary too is also a federal agent? I thought all the states also have their own judiciary as well.
Well, the judiciary, federal police, federal this, federal that. We are saying unbundle these things. That's all. We've reached that point where we say it's not working. No other government has made so much noise about corruption in Nigeria's modern history like the present administration. And what do you have? Worse figures than we've ever had. So we say, let us do it differently.
It is interesting you say worse figures than we've ever had. But the question is, have we ever had any figures? We have not had. This is the first time we're doing any research or gathering any data on the prevalence of corruption in Nigeria. And there is nothing to compare this report with to know whether or not it is getting better or it's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse.
That is by your thinking.
Because apart from the figures, you now had something the figures don't hold, nepotism, being promoted as policy of state.
Mr. Katch, the question is, in comparison with what? What are we comparing this report with?
With the past.
The past, where is the report from the past?
The past was beautiful. The past, we had 16 consecutive years of unbroken economic expansion. In the past, we had
Mr. UNODC,
Africa's
I'm
largest
holding
economy.
in my hand,
Yes.
I think we should be very practical. I'm holding in my hand a report compiled by the UNODC, done by the in conjunction with the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. This is the report I have. Do we have any report on any other year where, figures were compiled on the prevalence of corruption in this country?
What I'm telling you is there are things not captured in that report.
It's a question, yes or no.
Nepotism is not in the report.
Do we have any report? Yes or no?
Yes, before now, we're never this divided. Today, we are very divided because of the policies of this government. Yesterday, we used to have a society run on merit. Today, nothing on merit. Today, it's true. My son scores excellent marks, but he says, Daddy, are you sure I will be taken based on my merit? And I don't know how to tell him society is not run on merit. This is a unique country. This is not what we want. Not what we say, unbundle it. The only way to end this is to restructure the country. There are no two ways.